Welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we review Ryde. You've reached your final destination.
Directed by Brian Frank Visciglia, starring David Wachs, Jessica Serfaty, Kyle Thomas Schmidt, and Ronnie Alvarez. This movie is about Paul, a guy who decides that he wants to become a serial killer after taking an Uber, called Ryde in this film. So he calls up a driver, they go have some cigarettes for a bit, he kills the driver and then takes his identity. So now his new name is Carl, and he kills. This is actually a recommendation from Patreon. Deke, our top donator over there, recommended this. I'd actually seen this one before. But I did get to watch it a second time just for this review. I was supposed to review this like 6 months ago or something. We got this sent to us, and I opted not to. But you're twisting our arms. So what do we like? The cinematography in this movie was pretty decent. Everything looked pretty slick, like from the lighting and the shot types. It looks like it had a decent budget and a competent director of photography.
Paul, aka Carl, though we'll get to him in the dislikes, I did appreciate the aggressive nature that we did see when he was attacking the patrons in the car, because it was intense, and when you did see the impact, it was good.
Yeah, he liked to punch heads a lot. Probably one of his trademarks now.
He had an array of weapons, but he always went for like the fist.
Now what didn't we like?
I'm kicking this off right away with the dialogue and conversation. By God, the person who wrote this clearly has never talked with another human being in their life.
I'm an open book.
Well, I look forward to reading the pages.
Every single character in this film didn't know how to speak, and it was awkward.
Pretty easy gig, huh? Driving people around.
Ah, definitely. I make my own sketch.
I was just cringing most of the movie.
I make my own sketch.
Like, not only from the dialogue and the delivery, but the casting was way off.
I'm just riding with Carl. Yo, say what up, Carl. Yeah, 2 times.
Like, so ridiculously off. For some reason, every guy in this movie is supposed to be like a thug, and none of them are a thug. And none of them can act like a thug. So what's worse? They seem so fucking lame. Every single guy. Marcus, when you first see him, he's walking in his Timbs and he's trying to be all like thug.
The longer you take, the more I drink.
He's just like a complete asshole, but he's trying to be a gangster too, and he does not look or act like a gangster.
Casey, happy birthday.
Thanks, Marcus.
All right.
When the most thug character is Double T, that's when you know you have a problem.
Yeah.
Terrence. My friends, they like to call me Double T.
Right? And that guy's just like, he's got the big chains, he's acting like a complete douche, like, frat boy. And he was just irritating to all hell, sticking his phone in the guy's face. Like, I would have killed him too, maybe.
Every single character in this film, I didn't care if they survived or died. Even Jasmine, who is supposed to be our final girl, I don't even know. Like, they tried to force sympathy down your throat with Jasmine being in a bad relationship with Marcus, and Paul falls for her after like one ride, and then they just keep meeting up throughout the night, and they're trying to establish like, hey, feel bad for Jasmine. She's in a bad relationship. She's pregnant. And Paul's gonna be this like serial killing good guy.
Because you are following Paul around for the movie, they're setting him up to be the hero, and he's certainly not a hero, he's a serial killer. Serial killers are not heroes. Doesn't matter how much you want to paint him. He's like, oh, well, he's only killing guys who are abusive to their girlfriends. That's not accurate. He picked up random women all the time and just killed them for no reason.
Then he killed poor Carl. Carl was just being a nice guy, having smokes, driving him around, asking if he wanted water. He was doing his job.
He was. Another character that was supposed to be a thug. He was supposed to be a rapper. He was trying to sell mixtapes.
I just dropped my new mixtape. Thunder, $5.99 in case y'all want a copy.
But again, this guy couldn't act. And he certainly wasn't any kind of gangster. I also really don't like Paul. And the irony is crazy, because as much as he liked to punch faces, that's a face I want to punch so bad. His character almost belonged in American Psycho, but that's not the kind of movie this is. It was so awkward because in every scene he took off his shirt and got naked. Did you notice that? Like, he constantly just had his shirt off for no reason.
Maybe it's because he didn't want to dirty his clothes.
I can see that. That one time when he was pouring wine, he straight up like, girls going to like go to the washroom or something, and he just like grabs some wine, takes off all of his clothes, and just walks in naked.
Yeah.
Ballsy move. but still don't like the dude.
And also just how he delivered his lines. Like, everything felt forced, nothing felt natural.
My mom always complains. These things will kill you.
Well, killing's better than dying.
And he had this like Apollo Crews fresh look, you know, like, hey, I'm making it in the big times, can't help but smile. Like, control your emotions.
The editing is also not great. So while everything looked kind of good, it also just was a mess. If Paul's doing anything, it's just like a jump cut every like 5 frames, and it's just so irritating. If there's people talking, it'll like jump between camera angles that are so similar that it like doesn't work. And when he's killing, the camera just goes wild. You're supposed to be disoriented, but it's not good editing.
It's really, really bad when they reuse the same shot over and over again. Anytime he picks someone up and they're taken for a ride, it's that stupid like dash cam shot, and the lights of the city are behind, and it's all sped up, and it's just every single person. So he picks up like 6 people. You see the same shot almost every 5 minutes.
And that kind of brings me to the pacing and the story. The story is basically doesn't exist. The guy simply just picks people up and kills them for absolutely no reason. That's it. And then it just happens over and over and over again. It's just super repetitive. Like John said with like repeating the scenes, it's just like scene after scene of the same thing. Okay, now he's killing 2 girls at once.
Yeah, 2 times.
I don't care. I don't understand why we're supposed to care for this guy, and what's the end game here. He doesn't have any motivation or goal, and there's nothing to care for in this movie.
Yeah, and then when he falls for Jasmine, it's even more awkward, and they make her out to be this like super strong character. 10 minutes before, he went up against someone who was similar frame to Jasmine, punches them once, dead. Sees Jasmine, punches her once, she can take the punch and then kick his ass. It's just not balanced. It makes no sense why this guy can like knockout punch all these other people, but then when it comes to this final girl, it's like she's this strong character. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that she's a strong character. It just doesn't make any sense why Jasmine is different from any other person in this film.
Maybe because she was prepared. Everyone got sucker punched or sucker knived. She was the only one who saw it coming and was like, I can defend myself. So Paul's actually a little bitch and doesn't have any strength. Any little bitch can sucker punch someone.
This is true, because he did go for the kiss first. I also felt that this is a missed opportunity. With the amount of transportation services that are out there now between Uber and Lyft, for them to make a horror film based off of this, they didn't actually capitalize on a good story and give unique situations. They just kind of played to the gimmick, and it wasn't that good.
Everything's done through the app. No more need for cash.
They heard Uber's like starting to pop off. Let's put a movie out, like immediately. Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. This movie was a missed opportunity. They had a decent concept and they just didn't know what to do with it. It's very repetitive, none of the characters are likable, and the story doesn't even suggest what the audience is supposed to feel for any of the characters, because everybody's an asshole. So why do you want to watch a movie with just a bunch of assholes doing nothing? Well, the production value is decent. It can't save the terrible writing and the acting. Everyone just felt really, really off, and it's super awkward and cringe. And maybe watching it in a group setting might be funny, but I have seen it now twice, and I hope I never have to watch it again. So I'm gonna give this half an unnecessary setup to try and make the asshole look like a good guy out of 5.
This is a very cringe-worthy film because the characters don't know how to talk to one another. The interaction is very awkward and not natural. You had unlikable characters and a directionless story that made it not enjoyable. Though Paul, as a character, maybe played by someone else, would have been more interesting because he just had that smiley face that didn't seem intimidating. But when he did do stuff, it was impactful, and I appreciate that we saw that. It just didn't feel right. Nothing in this movie felt right. I wouldn't recommend this film, so with that being said, I'm gonna give this half a room filled with candles out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, there are links in the description where you can find it. And while you're down there, check out the Patreon link where you can recommend movies for us to review, and other cool rewards like watch movies with us. Oh, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything Bloodbath and beyond.